There we go.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'll get started. It's good to see you, Tess, and some new faces that haven't joined us, or if you're joining us for the first time, thank you. As the meeting goes, often we find that more people are arriving, so the more we are, the merrier it is. And I know that we're sort of getting a really beautiful picture I saw is that curve that shows it flattening out. The number of new infections in Australia is really flattening out, and that's a really positive thing to see, because that gives us hope for the future. The thing that we struggle with often is we just don't know when this is going to end. How long are we going to have to keep the salons closed for? But when the curve is flattening and then going down, then we really know that the future of opening the salons again isn't too far away, and let's hope that is. Now, I just wondered if anybody here have already enrolled their business for the JobKeeper grant. Has anybody done that? You can sort of...
Yeah, we have, Frank.
You have? That's great.
But we learned that you have to, you probably know this, that you have to show a month where, well, basically you have to be at 30% depreciation.
Yes, yes.
To be approved.
That's right. It can be, from as early as March, but it can also start from April. Like for us in March, we went down 30%. But as of April, our figures have gone down. So of course we're eligible for this grant. You have to set up MyGov ID first before you can actually go into the portal. So if you haven't done that and you want to, you need a bit of help and guidance, I had to do it. So please don't hesitate to just send me an email and say, Frank, help me through this, and I'll do my best. This morning I was at another meeting, and there was this lady, Julie. She's a hairdresser, and she has a salon, and she's a really positive ball of fire. She has all these, wonderful thoughts, and she was sort of saying, it's really important to accept the feelings that we go through, the feelings when we're down, or it's like mourning, and to just not wallow too long in those feelings, but they're absolutely normal, and it's what we choose to focus on that's really important. And there's a lot of news, there's a lot of things that we can, social media things, and so there's a lot of crap as well, I have to say. There's a lot of false news that this is not a real epidemic, and it's not, it's caused by 5G or whatever. And look, this is very real. Although that we're flattening the curve, the dangers are still there, and we still need to be very cautious, and we still need to really wash our hands carefully. So I'm not telling you anything that's important, that's new to you, but I just want to remind you just to stay focused on the positive, the things. Ask yourself, is this helping me, that I'm watching 3 different types of news, that I'm reading these things? Is it helping me at all? Is it helping my business? Is it helping my state of mind? And if you sort of don't think it is, then it's not something that you should focus on and continue. She also talked a lot about emotional exercising, and I really love that term. And what I would like to add to that is that if you think of your state of mind as an emotional exercise that you upkeep, it's a bit like when you go to the gym. You don't want to start lifting heavy weights straight away, or doing something really hard straight away. What you want to do is little steps, and the 3 steps that I like to recommend is the one is to have really good sleep patterns. And with the sleep pattern, the thing that you can do to help yourself is not so much focus on what time you go to bed, but focus on the time you get up. If you say to yourself, I'm going to get up at 7 a.m. every morning for the next 7 days, it will automatically, make you sleepy around, 10, 11. You'll start feeling, the need to go to bed earlier. So focus on your sleep patterns. That's really, really important. On exercise, and we've got here our skipping rope. We've been doing some skipping here in the office, and I can tell you, 1 minute of skipping will really get your heart going. So you do like 1 minute, you rest for 30 seconds, try do another minute, rest for another 30 seconds, and that will really, get the blood going. Sorry, we'll just wait for the phone to get answered. So that's the second thing. And the next thing is obviously relaxation, and Naomie's going to go into depth on that. And I can't wait to hear that. One last thing I want to share with you is I saw this beautiful movie on the weekend that you've all probably seen. It's the Dead Poets Society. Have you all seen it?
Long time ago.
Williams. It's a movie that was in '89. Was made in 1989. It's quite an old movie, and he's a teacher at this very sort of conventional English school where everybody's very straight, and but his way of teaching is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen the movie, you got to see it. And anyway, he takes his class of schoolboys and he takes them down the hall, and there on the hall are pictures of school kids that were there at the same school but 60, 70 years ago. And they're there standing, and he tells them, these kids have the same dreams, the same desires, the same yearn for love, and they feel just as invisible as you all do. But today they're just compost for daffodils, and
that's a nice way of putting it, Frank.
But if you listen closely, you'll hear them say. And so he makes the boys all reach closer to the pictures on the wall and to listen to the voices of these school kids that were there 70 years ago. And then he whispers, "Carpe diem," which is Latin for seize the day. And I thought, yes, that's so true. We live in such an amazing country, Australia. And if I had to be trapped anywhere when there's a pandemic, I think Australia is probably the best place in the world. And we just need to be reminded that each day is of great beauty, and we should seize each moment with all our might. So that's just my little message to you all. If you haven't seen the movie, please watch it. If you've seen it, maybe rewatch it, because there's a lot of great moments in that movie that can make you think. Now, I was talking with Jemima and Danielle, and we were just sort of saying how we'd love to get some input from everybody, because everybody's there, but and you're listening, but we'd love to hear some of the things that maybe some of the challenges that you've been having, and if you found some solutions to overcome them, what are they? Or if you haven't found the solution, maybe we can help you. Is anybody? Could anybody tell us what are you? What's been happening in your life, and what been the biggest challenges you've faced so far?
Or Frank, it could be also about something that you're looking to learn more about, or information that you've been trying to source and maybe haven't been able to get to the exact answer. Is there something that you've been thinking about doing in terms of setting up your online store or SMSing clients and you're not really sure? Anything that people want to just sort of have this conversation today, just go to the bottom left-hand part of your screen and unmute your little microphone, and you'll be able to yell out to us what it is that is on your mind. Anybody.
If I can just share to the group what we were very worried about, because obviously, like we all know, we've got no clients coming into, and we exchange time for money. We went back into our old marketing a very old marketing technique that's called lumpy mail. And we just found that we were sending emails and getting no response. So we decided we're going to categorize our clients into economy, business class, and first class. And we're going to send something in the mail that, say, the economy class people would appreciate. Or not only appreciate, but just as we actually sent them a little thing of tissues, a little travel pack of tissues, put a post-it note on it and said, I miss you, I haven't seen you for a while, and wrote it, printed out a letter, a personal letter, put their, you know, how you can put their name, and then a little letter to say, would love to see you, and here's an opportunity for, you know, something, you give them something, like if you buy this product, you can get this product at a discount. Like we gave them 10% off if they bought a particular product, not online, but if they contacted us via the phone. And we got so much response from that. It was quite interesting. And that we're going to be sending out to our business class people another little bit of lumpy mail that they might appreciate, because I put lavender in my water. So I'm thinking I'll invest money into like a 15 ml essential oil and say, I won't be long, we'll be back on track, we'll be back in business soon. Here's a little memory of my trim and facials for you. Use it for, I suppose, the message. You need to connect a message. So the tissue was, I miss you. The lavender oil is, remember how I used to use lavender oil, and this is how it can help you in your everyday life. We all know lavender is very relaxing and calming, but we can re-educate the client to go, you can put it on your pillow, we can put it in water when you cleanse your skin. And the first class people, we're going to send them a little box of chocolates to say, keep your sweetness. We know it's a tough time, but we're here and we're thinking about you. But we've done the tissue one, and we got such a good response from that. I mean, I think, you know,
that's
Frank,
great.
We got like, I mean, I can share my figures, but I think we made 10,000, not made it, but we got our wholesale was 10,000 in March, which was, I don't know, like, it was just such a phenomenal like response, because people don't get mail anymore. Do you know, and it was such a successful thing. We paid $2 for the envelope, because it's a bigger envelope, like another $1 on the tissues, a little sticky note, and made the effort to write a letter. And it really worked. So, and it makes them think, oh, because you want to be in their face. You know, like that's the thing.
Great advice, Naomi, I think.
So we call it lumpy mail.
Lumpy mail.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going back to some old marketing methods that haven't been used for a long time, just like, you know, how the world has kind of stopped and things are being done differently. People are reverting back to some basic stuff, being with their family or doing stuff out in the garden, cooking, painting, all those things. And what you're describing, Naomi, is a classic take on this is doing it differently. In the world of online stuff, to be able to reach into their homes is a really smart way of doing that. Well done to you.
Yeah, well, we just thought, we're getting bombarded with emails, and I'm not opening them all up, sadly, for those businesses, and we're going to be one of them, I feel, and I didn't want to miss the boat. So I just thought, wow, how often do you get mail? And when it's lumpy, they go, oh, what's in there?
Correct. Yeah.
And then you make, the important thing is, I suppose my message is, whatever you're putting in there has to be relative to them and relative back to your business.
Yeah, clever.
Yeah, if that makes sense. So
that's fantastic, fantastic advice.
So if that helps.
Yeah, it's great, because
or even just a little bit, like even just send a sample of Synchro. We sent our vital transfer. I know you're not trying to promote this product, Frank, but lots of my clients like it. So we've thought about the 60-year-old people are women. And we just said, look, you know, while you're at home, how are you going to create more hydration in your skin? Enjoy a couple of samples of this product you might have not tried before. And one lady ordered 3.
Yeah, that's great, Naomi.
And that's just lumpy male in itself. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it can just be a couple of samples. Oh, you need to do a face mask at home. I'm thinking about you.
Yes.
Do your hydrogel, do your marine, you know, just make it relative to them and that you're thinking of them.
And I would definitely say that people that I'm talking with are saying, like what we just discussed, that the emails are not hitting the mark. And a lot of people, their inboxes are bombarded with stuff that nobody is opening. I know a lot of people have talked about getting back to some old-fashioned basic marketing like you're talking about, Naomi. I'd encourage anybody that can think about doing that to absolutely do it, because others won't be, and you will be then seen and noticed. But also that the SMSing is another, you know, low-cost way of also reaching clients, because we all know SMS, Insta and Facebook is where people are seeing most of their stuff. The emails are not the way to go anymore like they once were. So SMSing is another way to also be able to do that. Some people that have a software package are able to do a bulk one, but I think it's a great idea what you're suggesting, Naomi, in breaking your clients down. I know Salon's been really successful in reaching out to clients they haven't seen for a really, really long time, or that maybe had purchased product 3 or 4 years ago and they haven't seen them for whatever reason. That they're actually reaching out to those clients in a separate SMS and they're getting a response. So maybe the ones that have been people that you haven't seen for a while, think about reaching out to them too. And then, of course, if you are sending little samples in the mail, and if you can revert them back to your Insta page or Facebook page where you've got a short video, that's going to also connect to having them in their own, having you, the beauty therapist, in their own bathroom effectively. And you can call it, you know, the beauty in the bathroom session, you know, with your business name attached to it potentially.
Yeah. It's a great idea. Beauty in the bathroom.
Beauty in the bathroom.
And it's so true, Jemima. SMS is certainly something that we've taken up more seriously for the last couple of months now. And I started up just timidly using SMS, but now we use it more and more frequently. And we're finding that everybody, all our clients are responding more directly to the messages we send by SMS than our emails. I was going, we sent an invitation for this, no one's coming. But now when I do it by SMS, there's so many more people who get the message.
The way to go.
So definitely.
Well, according to some marketing that's coming out, emails are like the old version of the yellow pages when the yellow pages was on its way out. Nobody's looking in there.
Yeah. That's right.
So SMS is the way to go.
Definitely.
For sure.
And also the other thing that you mentioned is videos. And I know that for a lot of beauty therapists, it's perhaps a little intimidating to make a video, to use even your phone camera in making a video. But I can tell you the impact is very powerful. If you want to leverage your message, if you have a little video message to accompany, then it's very, very powerful, and it's a great way to sort of upskill your skills by learning to make videos. The only thing you need to worry really about is that you don't hold your camera underneath your nose, because nobody wants to see what underneath your nose. That you just hold it at eye level, that you have the light behind you, and maybe you can make a few bullet points to your message, but certainly don't read a script, because when you read, you sound like this, and it doesn't sound authentic. So just something really authentic, and you will reach your clients in a much deeper way as well. So I think Naomi's idea of sending snail mail, I think we call it,
lumpy mail.
Lumpy mail. Okay, lumpy mail.
Because it's something in the envelope that's lumpy.
Yeah, lumpy.
That's relative to them.
I know that when I get a box, or a parcel, I'm like a 10-year-old kid. I want to tear it apart and see what's inside. So it would be the same with a lumpy mail. So definitely a really great idea. just before we get started with Naomi, I wanted to ask, and can you just give me one of those, please? Thank you. If you know Fiona from Vitasol, she's very gracefully donated the Infinity Whole Food. So if you don't know these are like supplements. They're freeze dried. It's a powder form. You mix it in with water. It's really very, very healthy for you. Many of you, I know, Naomi, you know this product, and she's given me 10 of them. So I'm going to, I've taken one for myself. I've given one to Nidra. I'll be sending one to Jemima and Danielle because they've been so wonderful in supporting us all. But I want to donate the others to you. But what I'm going to do is, if for you to have one, I'd like you to record a video, at least 1 minute, a 1 minute video where you will tell me 3 of the silver linings since we've been in this pandemic state of hibernation. 3 of things that you've discovered, maybe that new skills that you've learned, new ways of communicating.
Just gonna grab a sip of water.
So whatever it is, just tell us 3 things that you've found that have been really positive during these times in a video, and just upload it on our closed Facebook group or email it to me. Preferably, I'd like it to be in our closed group. The closed group is there for you to enjoy, so you can make comments, you can share your thoughts. Like Naomi's idea, I think is brilliant. Maybe I'll make a little post of that idea, Naomi, and share it with everyone because it's an idea worth sharing.
No, worth it.
Just and the top 3, I will get one of these, and I promise you will like it. It's a really great supplement. This one, it says it's a multi-active concentrate, gentle extraction, no synthetic, and so this is, all the ingredients are organic and really, really good. So.
Frank, before you go on to Naomi, can I just go back to, because there's been a lot of discussions I've been having with some of the Victorian accounts, just around the videoing. Like, you're encouraging people to do that, which is great. A lot of people aren't yet doing that on their social media platforms. They're not videoing themselves and putting it on their platform. No. And a lot of it is about, from what I'm gathering, and I kind of have this inclination myself a little bit, that we're in the world of the Kardashians and the so-called, in inverted commas, influencers, many of whom don't know much about what they're talking about other than selling product, and the way that's sort of changed. Yes. And for a lot of beauty therapists, they got into this industry because they wanted to help people and they wanted to serve people and look after people. And for some of us, it's not been a natural inclination to go and video yourself and post it online and be a so-called influencer or put yourself out there like you're a know-all or you're the best at everything. And that is a big part, from what I'm hearing from a lot of therapists, as to why they're not yet doing that. Mm-hmm. Because of that whole feeling, it doesn't come naturally. Yes. But what we've been talking about in some conversations today and last week has been, now is the time to do that, not for that reason about putting yourself out there and being an expert or being an influencer, but to actually be able to continue to service your clients and do face-to-face stuff with them on that platform. If they can't do it one-on-one, or they're not sure about doing it one-on-one, at least they can see you, the professional, the person that they trust, the person that they choose to come and visit. They can get to choose when they see you on your Facebook or your Insta page. And I think for so many of us as well, we'd like to be perfect in how we do our treatments and provide our services in-house. But that won't always translate to doing a video and putting it online. So this is really new for a lot of people. And like Frank's encouraging you to do a video like what he's just described and upload it to your Facebook, to our closed Facebook group. If you're not sure about doing it and putting it on your public group of your work business page, then do send it to someone else that can actually critique it for you, or send it to Danielle or I or Frank, because we will be able to help you with that and give you some feedback if you're wanting that. It doesn't have to be perfect is the whole point. It just has to be you, because your clients are looking for you to see you when they want to. Don't wait for it to be perfect. If the lighting's a bit drab or you've got the, something's not quite right, don't worry. They are used to being looked after by you, and to have the privilege of you coming to them when they want to be able to do that. I'd encourage you just to consider that at this time, because now is the time to do it. You mightn't have felt comfortable doing it before COVID-19, but now it's the time to launch yourself into it and not think about it from you, think about it from the client's point of view. So consider that.
Well put, Jemima, and that kind of reminds me back to what my mother Jacqueline has always said, that she never ever sells. She always just cares about the clients and asks them things of how they're going, what's bothering them, what's on their mind. She never ever tries to sell. I'm trying to get her to join us on one of these meetings, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy her natural, just gentle, kind way. And that's, I think that as beauty therapists, you all started this job with the desire to nurture and care for people and empower them with the feeling of confidence and well-being and having a healthy skin. So that's your focus. That's all you need to worry about when you do a message, is that you just want to share your caring and nurturing feelings. So please do little baby steps. That's why I'm asking you to just make a little video of 1 minute long, just telling me or sharing with us, not just me personally, but sharing with us some of the positive things that you've experienced so far. And you'll get some of this as well. So please, I'm going to hand over the microphone to Naomi now, and she's going to share with us the wonders, the benefits of Yoga Nidra. I can't wait to hear more about it. Naomi, it's over to you now. Hang on, we're going to unmute you, Naomi. There we go. Okay.
Right, thank you. Yeah, Frank, that's really, and Jemima, really good advice, because if you think of yourself about sales, you're not thinking of service, you're thinking of the money. Yes, so if you think of yourself, just put it out to the problem you're solving for your clients. That's the best thing I think we all can share things, and it'd be great if we can all share things at the end about this. But that's what principle I follow. If I'm conscious of what I'm doing or what I want to get out of it, then I'm not serving really. So yeah, but so Yoga Nidra, so thank you, Frank, for this opportunity. This is thank you. And also this opportunity of coming together. I think we need structure more than ever these days, and having this wonderful platform of Stronger Together makes a good reason for us to gather and share, and really just see how we're all going and get some great advice and input of where we can go each and every week with new ideas. So thank you, Frank, and the team of Vital Plus. Thank you, Yay, for doing such a good job. And Frank, I know how much responsibility you take on everyone's positivity, and you speak so eloquently. It's so lovely to have a man that speaks from his heart. You're very. We need to learn from Frank. With women, we do this naturally, and Frank just oozes vulnerability. So thank you, Frank. You're like the gatekeeper to all your genetic goddesses. It's gorgeous. I always look at the world in a spiritual realm and sort of think, that's sort of Frank's sort of like the spiritual father of us, keeping us all protected. and particularly through this time. And, you know, this is a really good opportunity with Yoga Nidra, and I'll explain what it is, why we need to practice, and how it was discovered, because it's such an ancient technique, and it's actually more than a technique, and I think you'll get to see that by the end of my presentation, that it's a way of life and it's a way of being, because when we are in a relaxed state, or we're more connected to ourselves, we're more in a response state rather than a reactive state, and generally we're in fight and flight most of our life. We've never really been taught how to be in a rest and digest, like a relaxed, responsive state. But if you don't know me, I'm Naomie Nahoum. I've been with Genetic more than I've been married. So 22 years. Been a part of the family since 1998. I'm a qualified yoga teacher, esthetician, and this process or technique has been scientifically proven, and I teach this as well outside of yoga schools. I teach people how to relax and be more connected to themselves with that. And I also mentor other young women in becoming more connected to their inner self, so they are more able to be their true self, and that will help them in their business life or their careers. So it's something else I love doing. But yeah, let's just ask some questions at the end. I think that would be really great if we can just open it up, and it makes us all feel like we're more connected to the presentation, and what hopefully that you would take away some tips today of the relaxation. Yeah, so I'm just going to refer to a few notes because it keeps me in structure as well. So if you see me looking off to the side, you'll see that I'm referring to some notes. And I'll time it. Yeah. So the history of Yoga Nidra comes about from yoga, and because in the West we think yoga is generally postures, making physical shapes with our body, breathing into those shapes, and then that alters our brain chemistry and our hormones, helps open up the energy centers in the body, the meridians. But actually yoga is a whole system, and it goes back to say 5,000 years ago, and this practice is really relative still today, and we'll see how that is when I explain more. So yoga is broken down into 8 limbs, or if we imagine a big tree, it will have 8 branches. So Yoga Nidra comes into the 5th branch of the tree. So first we start with the social codes and the moral codes, which are 2 branches, and they give us guidelines and boundaries of how to live in life and how to be a better person, such as non-stealing, don't wasting time, non-violence. So there's about 10 codes in the first two limbs of how to live and how to be in society, a bit like the 10 Commandments, really. And then the third branch is asana, so the postures. The 4th, when we go into the breathing practices, is pranayama, so we can be in our body, cleanse the internal body, and it raises our consciousness, or just simply how to breathe properly and well. And then the 5th limb, as I mentioned, is Yoga Nidra, and it's a funny big word called pratyahara. The pratyahara just basically means withdrawing the senses inwards. And this is what we do in Yoga Nidra. We suspend the external sounds and we go deep inside and we start to observe our inner body. And this is where all these deep processes start to take place. And that's when I'll explain how and why this happens. So the 6th limb is dharana, which is concentration. And we don't really get taught how to concentrate either, really. I mean, I don't know if at school, I don't know about all of you, but if your teacher ever said concentrate, we've never really taught how to concentrate, how to focus. So this is a part of yoga, just focusing on one thing at a time. And I suppose in our Western society now, we call it mindfulness, just doing one thing really well and observing that. And then it's meditation, is the 7th limb of yoga. And then we go into samadhi, or they call it oneness. But basically that is just coming into that non-reactive state. So just so you get an overview of the 8 branches and how Yoga Nidra comes into the yoga way of life or the yoga philosophy. So what actually is Yoga Nidra? And it's basically, Nidra means conscious sleep, or I call it sleeping with awareness. So as I mentioned, you suspend the senses, so you're not tuned into your sight, your ears, your sense of smell, or your sense of taste or touch. And that's all being guided. And I should have mentioned, actually, I'll be giving away, if you're interested, my Yoga Nidra CD that I created many years ago to help people deeply relax. And I'd love to give that away for you today. You can either leave me your email or Frank, and either or will give you the MP3 format of that, so you can practice this technique. So what you'll notice is when you go into this relaxation technique, you suspend the senses and your body becomes like so heavy, it's like wood, but your mind is still awake unless you're exhausted and you fall asleep. It's unlike meditation, where you generally sit up, you'll be laying down, arms apart, feet apart, because when you cross your limbs, you're still engaging the nervous system. And this is the point, is not to engage the nervous system or have any tension in the body. So you can actually go into this very, what I call sleeping with awareness state, or this deep relaxation. It's really important to prepare the space like a ritual. So you turn your phone on sleep, you make sure if anyone's in the house that you just let them know you're going to have some time to be relaxed. Cover yourself with a blanket, cover your eyes if that feels comfortable, and you just deeply go into hearing the track. Or you can, when you get my track, see how you go, but there's lots of Yoga Nidra CDs out there, or apps and things. But the thing with mine is that I've been trained on how the brain switches off every part of the body, so you get the best benefit. I've tried a few different options, and some of the cues are switching off. It's confusing for your mind to follow if it goes from your right knee to your left knee and bouncing around the body. I've been trained in a very specific way where your brain will switch off very quickly and there's no thought involved. It's just you follow the cue and you naturally do that, because there's areas of the brain that lights up. And if you follow those areas, you can easily relax into this very quickly. So why should we practice such a practice as Yoga Nidra, this deep relaxation? Well, we've all been, as we all know, self-care is so important. We know this more than most people. But the government, as all the health authorities, are also telling us, you know, go get exercise, fresh air, eat your vegetables, drink water. We hear this quite often, go and relax. But how do we actually relax? And a lot of people think reading a book, watching TV, chatting to a friend, or cooking a meal is relaxing. Well, it could look like it's relaxing, but it's actually, you'll find you're still engaging in the senses. You're still receiving information. So you're still activating your nervous system. And you still have to sort of work things out. True relaxation is when you suspend the senses, and like meditation or Yoga Nidra, but meditation is kind of harder really, because it's difficult for your mind to be still. It's not normal for our minds to be still. So this is an easier way through to come into this very deep state. And it's very peaceful. And once you drop into it, you learn how to do it faster and much more easily, if that makes sense. So if we really get that, you know, watching TV and reading isn't really relaxing. It's a relaxing activity, but it's not true relaxation. So hopefully that makes sense. The thing is, you'll feel deeply rested, rejuvenated. It's great for anxiety, for overwhelm, chronic fatigue, physical pain, just any type of mental agitation, or if you can't sleep, or if you find it difficult to fall asleep. I know at times when I've had a lot on my mind and I wake up more exhausted from an 8-hour sleep, and then I'll just go and do my Yoga Nidra. And after 20 minutes, I've had a better sleep, or better rest, more to the point, than after an 8-hour sleep. And that's scientifically been proven. And I'll explain more why that's come about. That you get a better rest from a 20-minute deep delta relaxation brainwave pattern accessing compared to 8-hour sleep where you're just churning over thoughts or activities or anything on your mind. This wheel just keeps going. yeah, so that's a massive benefit on the mental body, the emotional body, and the physical body, releasing pain. So how it does that, a few areas, and it releases and relaxes the parasympathetic nervous system. So you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's our rest and digest. And when we do that, so many things are going on. So also it's helping our digestion as well. It turns on our metabolic rate, so it's really good for weight loss, ladies. Interesting, isn't it? So when we rest and digest, our metabolic rate starts to work and function better. Yeah, so we don't have to do all this incredible, insane activity all the time to actually turn on the metabolic rate. So how does this actually work? So there's 4 main ways we stimulate the brainwave patterns. We work on the subconscious mind, we work on the hypothalamus, and all of that happening is activating you getting a better quality sleep, as I mentioned before, compared to 8 hours in a 20-minute deep relaxation. So how it works in the brainwave activities is that at the moment we're in beta brainwave patterns, and beta brainwave patterns are now, so we're alert, we're focused, we're very, very active, we're taking a lot of information, and they tend to go between 25 or 13 to 25 hertz. So then we start to move into, say, yoga nidra or deep relaxation. We go into alpha, so it's like that meditative state, or even that feeling when you're about to go to sleep, you feel that very sleepy feeling, or that feeling that you're just about to wake up in the morning, unless you have a buzzing alarm clock and you're in that sleepy state. But it's that very serene, alpha, calm state. And that's a part of the brainwaves dropping down. And they go between 8 to 12 hertz. Now, the big, beautiful thing about yoga nidra, and it's only the one practice I've ever found besides meditation, but in meditation you're upright, so you're not, you still have to engage your spine, where you get into delta brainwave patterns. If you take anything away from today, delta is the brainwave pattern that leads you to your subconscious mind. So it's powerful in the sense, because, you know, a few meetings ago we were talking about having a healthy mindset. So I'll just explain what's going on here. Your conscious mind might be going, okay, be positive, I can do this, we're going to get through this, I'll be fine. So you might be running that really good, strong story, but behind in the subconscious, you don't believe it. You're nervous, you're anxious, you just think, no way, like, my business is shut down, I'm not making an income, or my family's freaking out, or my children, or like all these worries that are deep-seated override your conscious thought, so you don't actually believe it. So when you go into a delta brainwave pattern, what you'll notice is in my CD, or so the MP3, you'll hear me say, make a forward positive intention, and in the West we call that an affirmation. Now, affirmations only work, so if you take something away today, just be it this, affirmations only work when you're in a delta brainwave pattern, and then when you repeat it over and over, only then it is going to be your conscious thought and you will believe it. So that is a really powerful process to take you in. And say what's a positive forward intention or an affirmation. So if you don't feel like you trust the environment right now, like you're feeling very unsafe, or not feeling like you're going to get through this. So something might be like, I trust the process, I trust my environment, I'll be safe, I'll be always looked after. So if you say that in a delta brainwave pattern, and then in your everyday life, continue to say that when a negative thought comes in, say, oh, that's rubbish, no way. You know, then you keep repeating your positive message or affirmation, and then the more you say your positive affirmation or intention, that's when it actually becomes true. So what's another one? Say money. might be all worried about money right now. So it'd be something like money flows to me easily and effortlessly from each and every direction. So the more that you say that in a delta brainwave pattern, and then in your everyday life, the same thing. You start creating it. Things actually start happening. Money flows to you easily and effortlessly. Clients start buying products, or I don't know, someone helps you out financially, something. It's just the power of your mind that starts to activate and really believe that intention. So that's a really powerful force that we have naturally within us, and we're not taught this. The amazing thing science found, it's been scientifically proven, when we're in our mother's womb, we're in a delta brainwave pattern. So we're in that real, it's the slowest, lowest, deepest brainwave pattern to be in. It's like a slow, low drum sound. And it's our lead into empathy. It promotes empathy. So it's a really beautiful pattern to be in, and to feel safe in that pattern. Because sometimes what you might experience when we drop into deep relaxation, some people aren't comfortable with it because we're not in control. But if you can just let yourself go and drop into that state, magic happens. It's just beautiful to be in that. It's almost like going back to the womb. It's that feeling like when you're floating. It's a floating feeling. You're aware that your mind is still like awake, but your body is so heavy, which is really unusual to feel that feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. So that's the power of a delta brainwave pattern. The other things that, which we're all going to appreciate this, delta brainwave patterns stimulate DHEA, which is our human growth hormone. So it's one anti-aging hormone that's been stimulated in delta brainwave patterns. And also they've discovered, science has discovered, it stimulates melatonin by 90% in delta brainwave patterns. So we're resetting our melatonin. It promotes deep healing. And also if people have had some, very serious emotional problems or traumas, it actually can help this as well. And that happens with the power of intention, and also just being in a very calm state of mind. It also stimulates the hypothalamus, and it does that by, it turns off the stress response receptors, and that therefore resets our homeostatic balance, and we become less disease resistant, which is amazing. So much is happening in that delta brainwave pattern, and we don't have access to this. So this is something my intention today was to really serve you and give you something that would really help. And this is powerful. So hopefully all that made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So I've talked about the subconscious mind, and I've talked about the sankalpa. The sankalpa, sorry, is the positive forward intention that we plant the seed in when we're in delta brainwave patterns, and then we can repeat this in our daily life. But really, I suppose, all said and done, it is, as you can see, a way of life, because the more we get into a more relaxed state, we can still be alert and obviously assertive, but we're more responsive rather than reactive. There's so much tension out in our world today, and if we can just step back from what we're in and just observe it, that's what it's teaching us, to be an observer rather than be a part of it, and then you respond from the observing point of view. Because life really is a manifestation of where we direct our energy, and as I think you mentioned, Frank, something about we can get good at things if we practice them, like the video camera. We do only get good at things the more we practice them. So this is actually a practice, and the more you practice to relax, the more you can be relaxed. Because often, as I mentioned, when we're in delta brainwave patterns, and this can happen when we're in the womb, that when we grow old enough to realize, well, that's actually not me. I feel like that's something my mum would do or my dad would do. And that's because, interesting enough, when we're in the womb, our subconscious mind is so wide open. So whatever our mother's going through, feeling, thinking, experiencing, that's gone through to the womb into the infant's subconscious mind. They come into the world and they have these habits, and it's not really them. It's because what the mother experienced. So it takes a long time sometimes to break bad habit patterns. And that's actually something that if you go to my Yoga Nidra website, you can download my free report of how to break bad habit patterns. And it's a great insight about more of the subconscious mind, how we can break old habit patterns. So it's www.yoganidra.net.au. And you'll see even my testimonials about some of the people that have used this technique that hopefully you'll all benefit from and make use of and get the beautiful benefits yourself. Yeah, so hopefully that was useful and it makes you understand the depth of this incredible ancient technique that went back 5,000 years ago and how relative it is now. We've been told to stay inside, which gives us permission on the upside to do really great things, to look after ourselves. But also this teaches us to go inside ourselves. And this is where the answers are. I remember you saying, Frank, in your Dead Poet Society, the whispers, you know, like the more quiet we become, the more we hear our own inspiration, our own creativity, where we get ideas from. Because often we're not still enough to get the glimpses of what the universe is doing its best to share with us. So it's like being still enough and quiet enough to hear the whispers. And I love how you brought that in, Frank, because that's sort of relative. We're so busy even in the quiet time that we've been given permission to be sort of inside, but yet not maybe not even accessing that. So if you're finding it difficult to be still, practice this practice. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. So yeah, I inspire you, encourage you to make use of something that has really helped my life in really being more connected to yourself, being more relaxed, and just being in a more responsive state. So yeah, hopefully if there's any questions, I'd love to, or any insights.
I'd love to.
Say that again, Frank?
I said I'd like to ask you a question, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Is there a particular time that is preferable to practice Yoga Nidra? Morning?
Yeah, I think it has to be instinctive. If you're exhausted as soon as you wake up, just do it. If you've got 20 minutes, I tend to, at this stage, might do a 4 o'clock practice, so it doesn't interfere with my sleep. Yeah, so
whenever you feel a little bit
like fatigued, you don't have to be exhausted, but if you just feel like even your eyes are sore or you're restless, or you just need to do something to feel a little bit more calm and grounded. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I know that the just so everybody knows, I will be putting all your details on our closed group so that they can email you their details on how to get the MP3.
Oh, yes. So do you need my email address, Frank? Sorry.
Or they can leave their email address, or
okay. Yeah.
your email address. We'll find you one way or another. And I'll also put the details of your website so that, you know, if you didn't have time to write down Naomie's website, you'll have it. So don't worry about that. That's coming. I know that your MP3 or the CD, I'll just call it CD, it actually takes you through the process. So it you know, it's your voice in the background, softly telling you each step of how you go about. So you don't need to know how to do the. You are taking us through the whole 20 minutes of relaxation. So it's fantastic. I recommend everybody should try it out. I mean, this whole idea of delta brainwave is fascinating.
So fascinating.
You know what you said, like we might say, you know, you can do this, you'll make it through, but really in the background there's this, no, you're not. So if we can work, you know, work in alignment with you know what we desire, what we want to achieve, and you know, welcome the universe to that energy of, you know, of good thoughts. I think that's a really important
If
practice.
I can just add to what you just said, Frank, see, sometimes it's not even our story we're playing. Sometimes we're playing the story of our parents, and it depends how we grew up. So the kids now are watching their parents, how they react in a stressful situation.
Absolutely.
So we need to look back at going, oh, how did our parents react in a stressful situation? Because that's exactly how we're reacting.
Yeah.
You know, like as couples or as people living together or out in the street, or so this is where we can change things too. So yeah, it's
all the things that our parents say, you know, money doesn't grow on trees.
yeah, exactly. It's like we know that actually that's just, you know, a myth, right? But we start to believe that, but it's not. Money is just an exchange. It can flow to us easily and effortlessly. But we need to start doing that in the Delta brainwave pattern. Yeah.
And Naomi, can I just weigh into that? Because for some people, they mightn't have experienced this ever before. They might have tried some form of meditation and it not worked, or they got distracted, or they couldn't do it effectively, or sit for that amount of time, or listen to it. Do you have any tips or suggestions to help people ease their way into this, to be able to potentially just give it a go and see what happens over the course of time?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, going back to meditation, even if you just sat quietly for 1 minute and put your timer on, just focused on your eyebrow center and closed your eyes and breathed for 1 minute, that's a good way in. And then just do that for a week, and then increase it for 2 weeks, another 2 minutes. But with Yoga Nidra, it's a ritual. It's a bit like when you go to sleep. Oh, sorry, not go to sleep, but when you're preparing yourself to go to bed, just think of all the things you do on automatic. It might be washing your face with your beautiful glyco and doing your beautiful genetic routine, brushing your teeth, pajamas on, or whatever you do, and then you get into bed. It's a ritual. So this is a ritual. So you start programming yourself and going, right, I'm going to do relaxation now. I need to set the scene, close my door. It's like preparing yourself. Things just don't happen. There is a preparation stage. So once you start getting into the preparation stage, your mind starts to get more and more comfortable with going, oh, okay, I look forward to this. I can't wait to do it. At first, there might be a bit of, oh, I don't know what to do and what to expect. But the more you do it, the more you find it more ease. You ease into it. So it's the preparation.
Yeah, it is listening to your version of what you're doing. Can that happen, like what you were saying with meditation, for a minute or so, just to get into it? If people again are trying to find or trying to create a ritual in their busy mental state of life at home and kids at home and all of those things, is there benefit at least to get started if they were only able to do it for 5 minutes?
Oh, great. Perfect. I see. Got you. Yeah. So great question, because my track starts with the body scan.
Right.
So, and that's about 5 minutes. So perfect question. Yeah. So if you just want to get the body scan and feel like, oh, I'm going to get all these muscles and joints and bones and just feel very relaxed, you can just start with that. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. But absolutely, you're guided through the whole process. So you don't have to think of anything. You just have to let go, be warm, and whoever's in your home, just let them know that don't disturb me. I'm just having a bit of chill out time, and just allow yourself that time. If it's 5 minutes.
For the first week, so for the first week, I might be able to do the body scan for 5 minutes every day for the first week. And then as I've got that ritual or that routine kind of underway, then the next week or the week after, go a bit further, listening to what you're guiding us through.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you get more and more comfortable with being at that level of relaxation, because often we're not used to being that relaxed.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. I mean, I remember teaching this very often, and one of my students, she, you know, have you experienced when you're in bed and you go so deep that you shake? I don't know if you've had that experience. Like it's like that's your nervous system switching off. And she did that so often in the process that she felt so uncomfortable that she couldn't go any further. But this is the point. If just allow yourself to drop into it, nothing can happen. You're completely supported. You're in your home, you're in your environment, nothing will happen. It's just telling yourself, I'm just learning how to relax, just teaching my nervous system to switch off. And we need to learn to switch off. We really do. It's so important, particularly now.
I think it's great advice. And particularly because a lot of people don't realise that when we're going through something as eventful, traumatic, stressful as this time can be for many people, we don't know what we don't know. So if we don't know what the side effect of that trauma is, one of the things that can happen out of an event like this is that we can be long-term in that fight or flight without even realizing it. And as a result of that, there's a whole lot of health implications and choices and things that we might do, but also how it affects our skin, if nothing else, how it will age our skin and the inflammation that will happen. So if nothing else, part of this is also thinking about one way to care for our skin in a roundabout way. It's actually part of the routine, like we would be cleansing or synchroing or whatever we were using. It's actually a step in that we don't know it yet, but down the track you will age, and this is a perfect way to help reduce the aging process. Absolutely, because that's the DHEA, like that's the growth hormone. We're going to get more estrogen. What does estrogen do? It's hydrating. It's correct. Yeah. And I think if people even think about it in their own experience through times of hardship that they've had personally, and that can be, that can be losing jobs, or it can be deaths in the family, or, health diagnosis. It can be a whole range of things. For me, it was a natural disaster, but I didn't realize how much it was going to affect my body and my skin as I was going through it. But then some years later, I looked like I'd aged 10 years in a very short space of time. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing my skin routine. It was all the things I didn't understand were happening internally, and wish we had done things like this far earlier in the process. So if the beauty therapists and the skin therapists listening are starting to do a little bit of it themselves, even if it might feel uncomfortable or they're not used to it, imagine the power in what you can then share with your clients by also passing on this information as part of a good skin routine. It's just, it's really valuable information. So thanks for sharing that today.
Oh, you're welcome. Beautiful. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Naomi. That was really valuable. We've sort of gone over time, but it was well worth to discuss this. And I think that everybody, we can give Naomi a big
thank you.
because really truly
well done.
Cherish your time and your generous offer that we can just download. Because I know you're selling that track normally for $25 and you're giving it away for free.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be of service.
And I think that, if we can take that, like Jemima was saying, and then pass it on to our clients, it's another valuable thing we can share with them that's directly linked with our rejuvenation and our youthfulness, which is what we're in business for, to help people stay young longer and so forth. So thank you.
Pleasure.
Amazing, always amazing. So just to quickly recap for everybody, Naomi shared also with us the lumpy male, which is doing
so good.
Successfully. That was great, and I will put a few details on our closed groups just to remind everybody about that. I think that's a fantastic idea. Also, we talked about how important it was to communicate using other means, not so the mail, but things like SMS and doing videos. Even though you might feel uncomfortable, it's also a part of developing your skills. And so I've offered, that if you share with us some of the positive things that you've discovered since we've been in hibernation, then you might get one of these.
And Frank, with that, if some people who are doing the video haven't got 3 silver linings, that's okay. Share one.
Yeah. Just one even.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll find one.
One.
So, and I'd love to hear if anyone practices over the week. And Naomi's suggested the Yoga Nidra. I'd really love to hear what you felt, the experience you've had doing it, and the benefits you felt. So really, please share those things. This group is called Stronger Together. So, you know, it's not just us, it's not just the Vital Plus team, it's also you. So please, we love to hear what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. So yes, that's really important. Please do that. And please remember, like in the movie, seize the day, right?
Seize the day.
The day.
Hear the whispers.
It's important. Yes.
We're going to get really still so we can hear the whispers.
I always imagine the stillness is like, you know, a still lake, and an idea is like just a drop, and you see the you know the
ripple effect.
The ripple
comes from the one drop. But if your mind is like the lake that's washing around, even if you have 10 drops, you can't even see them. So stilling the mind is giving yourself that opportunity to hear those brilliant ideas that are flowing through you.
It's the new luxury, everyone. Stillness, space.
Appreciate also everybody for joining us. You know, we've got a really, this is like the 4th or 5th meeting, I'm not sure now, that we've had, and it's great to see the attendance always so high. So thank you for you know, putting the time and the effort of joining us. It's great. Next week we've got Olivia, who's the sleep expert. So it's a great way to go from Naomi's Yoga Nidra to the sleep expert, 2 ways that will really help us get all our focus and energy and positivity in the most deepest and best way possible. So thanks again for joining us. I really am very proud of you for making that effort. So have a great week. Don't hesitate to call us, our team. Jemima's there, Danielle is here, Lydia, I'm here, everybody's here to help you. So if you have any questions, anything that you want us to help you with, we'd be happy to help you with. Take care, and see you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thanks, Lydia. Bye, Frank. Bye, Jemima. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Monica. Bye.